Jihad has the highest reward in the eyes of Allah. Quran promise, Quran promise you that Allah will give you lots of reward if you kill or be killed in the way of Allah. If on earth you can have up to 4 wives as a jihadist who is killed in the way of Allah, you can get 72 wives in Jannah. This is crazy amount of wives. 72 of them. More than what is allowed on earth. But Muslims these days realize they cannot win if they fight physically. Those days are gone. Ottoman Empire was beaten by the Austrians and the Polish at the Battle of Vienna. They also lost Spain. They lost Portugal. They lost all the territories they got in Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria. They lost and they got kicked out. Although some of the Turks stay in Europe, but most of them they got beaten and then they're gone. Nowadays they know they cannot do jihad like that anymore because they don't know how to fight. Muslims may be able to buy a very advanced weapon, but the problem is the skill. If they have no skill, then the weapon is useless. So now they are doing 3 other jihad. In my book, there are 4 types of jihad. The physical jihad, the one from Surah Tawbah, verse 5, Surah Tawbah 111, until you kill and be killed. And there are 3 other more jihads, 3 other types of jihad. Number 2 is love jihad. Many Muslims looking for partners who are not Muslims. And then, once they fall in love, they marry them and ask them to convert to Islam. And sometimes, those partners or those wives or husbands who are not from non-Muslim, who became Muslim, are the one who do the propaganda for Islam, telling people in the West that Islam is religion of peace. Al-Qaeda and ISIS are not Muslims. They say Taliban does not represent Islam. They say. All of a sudden, everything is upside down. When the Quran is very clear, when it says, do not make friends with Jews and the Christians. Quran is very clear, telling the Muslims to kill the pagans wherever you find them. Now, they say those are not Muslims. And then They keep doing this propaganda about Islam. Love, Islam is about love. All of a sudden, it sounds like very Christian. Allah loves you. And then you ask them, can you show me where in Quran that says Allah loves me? They will not be able to find it. Because Allah only loves those who follow Allah. Allah has a conditional love. Unlike the God in Bible, God in Bible has no, his love is very unconditional. But in the Quran, it is the opposite. In the Bible, God will send you rain and sunlight. Doesn't matter you are wicked or righteous. But not in Quran. But when they do propaganda, they do it differently. They have to lie. And those who become Muslims, they don't know Quran either. They don't really know. And jihad number 3 is economic jihad. What do I mean by economic jihad? Halal food, of course. I don't eat halal unless, two things, unless if the seller or the owner of the business is a non-Muslim. And secondly, I will eat halal food only if they are free. I will not spend money from my own pocket to go to KFC and buy halal chicken. Never. That KFC is so stupid when they changed to halal about a year and a half ago. They think they will gain 1 point something million Muslims. But actually, they lose about 800,000 potential customers who are sick. In case if you don't know, sick, those people with turban, they are not allowed to eat halal food. So actually halal food for sick is haram. And I don't know if you notice. Actually, I think I may be wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I think, in my opinion, sick people, they spend more money on takeouts, on restaurants, on clothing, more than Muslims. I don't know, this is just my observation. Maybe I'm wrong. So that economic jihad is number 3. And the last jihad, number 4, is of course immigration. Sometimes I think those Muslims, they create wars among them on purpose to create refugee, wave after wave of refugee, millions and millions of refugee. When millions of refugee pouring into Europe, millions of refugee pouring into North America, Australia, and New Zealand, it is very hard for those governments to check their backgrounds. Because I believe tens of thousands of them, if not more, they're actually jihadists themselves. When ISIS attacking people in Syria, and some of them, they became refugees too. When Al-Qaeda attacking people everywhere, and there's so many people running from Al-Qaeda. But then some of them, or many of them, actually became refugees too. So that's how they get Al Qaeda planted everywhere. ISIS sympathizers, quote unquote, planted everywhere. Because most of them, many of them, they come through refugee. And the system is very flawed. I'm not against refugee again. Many of them are actually genuine. They are a real refugee. They don't want war. They want peace. They want to work. They want to build a family. But then again, we have to be careful because the government in the West, they don't really know Islam. Sometimes I think they forget. Like Spain, legalize every refugee they have in the country. This is crazy. I believe it took what 600 years to liberate Spain from Islam. But now it's the other way around. They didn't even need to fight. They just need to apply to become refugee. And then they will be accepted and will get legal status in Spain. This is what happens if your country is run by leftists. They forgot history. They forgot their history. Very, very sad. Anyway, I just want, if you are a non-Muslim, you are be careful. I'm not asking you to follow my way. But again, I don't buy halal food unless if I know the owner is maybe sometimes Christians. One time, or not one time, so many times, there's a Hakka restaurant. The owner is a Christian from India. So I have no problem with it. I bought their food. Or sometimes there's a noodle from Indonesia, my own country. I know the owner is non-Muslim. So I bought the noodle sometimes. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless you all. Have a nice life.